Okay, now we will spend 20 minutes trying to put together AI and GDPR and see what comes out. So, Erki from Telia, you are welcome on stage.
Thanks, Hendrik. Yes, let's see what will come out. Hi, everyone. So, AI meets GDPR. Regulations will meet the future. How it will look like, no one knows. I think that's the short answer. But let's have a discussion and let's see some thoughts. I'm Erki. I'm leading data analytics in Telia. Telia is the largest telecommunication operator in Estonia. And in my past, I have been leading data and analytic functions in large Estonian companies. A few years ago, I was in a situation that I thought my work is becoming boring because analytics was quite ready and I didn't know what to do. But luckily, we all have a new thing. What we can every day think about is all about this type of AI and the transformation about that. So let's look a little bit closer on few ideas about this topic, about my experience, what I have seen inside of Telia and in other companies as well. So the first message, what I think defines this landscape very well is that the technology is changing faster than our organizations. Our organizations are ready to change very slowly, but the technology is changing very fast. Especially when we are looking at this type of new AI technology. Do you all agree that it's changing very, very fast? Can you stay in a saddle? It's impossible. So basically, I had just recently another presentation on this topic regarding AI strategy. And then we figured out that it's the organization strategy, not the AI strategy. Technology is the easiest part of it. But let's look closer at some of the examples. So what to do in this type of conditions. Regulations, what we have, AI Act, GDPR, are actually this type of guiding principles for us. But how we have a guiding principles in extremely fast-changing environment, where no one knows where we are going to end up. Few myths about this topic is that the big fast change is over. It's definitely not. The continuous change is accelerating. So AI technology is over. We can't predict. Our expectations are wrong in very many cases. At least that has been exactly like that in the last 3 years, 5 years period. When we are looking at the capabilities what the technology has today, then yes, if you have a good experience, it feels overwhelming. If you have a bad experience, then you are disappointed. But it is becoming more and more expert. In a narrow and controlled environments, this technology can replace us all. But in a narrow and controlled environment. If you're looking on your everyday life, do you live in a narrow and controlled environment? Probably not. And that's kind of the good thing or the bad thing as well. So this new technology is here. This genie, we can't put it back to the bottle. Do you agree? So the question is, what will happen next? Do you know? Stanford University, thank you for participating. But Stanford University had excellent surveys. They presented the first survey in 2016, and they said what will happen in the future. What do you think? How did they do? Not even close. It's really funny to read it. There are some words are right, but the meaning is totally wrong. In 2021, they tried again. What do you think? How did they do? Yeah, not even close. In 2021, when they did this prediction, they did not predict what will happen with the transformer component, which is the critical component of all the large language models and etc. It's funny. So they're doing it again. What do you think? How do they do? Probably as previously. Again, it's just an example that how transformative is the nature. So we have a question regarding the GDPR and legal regulations and etc. So my domain is information and analytics. So I'm not a lawyer. That's not my domain. So I can't go into all of these nuts and details. But I can definitely go to the details that what's the purpose of information and what is the name of the game. And the name of the game is to use the information to make a better decision. And this landscape is changing. So what we know is that we are in a rapid transformative situation. The change is happening. We know that visibility is really, really poor. We have had many, have you heard this type of vendor lock situation or the situation that we can't get locked into some technology? So we had the principles on 2 to 3 years vendor lock policies. So any systems what we built in Telia, we need to be ready to change it in 3 years. That was in the past. And we considered us really this type of conservative and future-looking. At the moment, 6 months. You can predict what will happen with the model 6 months. And then there will be some surprises. So, a little bit more specifically about the GDPR and AI Act. Otherwise, I will just shoot to different directions versus the name of the presentation. So, why we have a GDPR and AI Act? Why we have GDPR and AI Act? Yes, exactly. To protect our human rights. And this is something what we are often actually forgetting. We think that this is just to make Europe weak or uncompetitive or something like that. But the purpose is really clear and simple, to protect our human rights. Does anyone, we all care about our human rights, especially in a case when there will be a violation. As long as there is no violation, we kind of don't care about it also. But that we see again at the moment, all the uncertainty around it is transforming the landscape quite heavily. So to protect the human rights, we all agree, but how we do it in an age of this type of very, very fast AI transformation where the technology is doing something what we don't understand. Let's look closer. So we have had GDPR for many, many years. I remember when the GDPR came, I was really happy. I was leading analytics and big data, and we did a lot of crazy things before 2018, and now we are doing a little bit less crazy things at the moment, but it was good. We had clear rules, boundaries. Many of my colleagues in analytics consider this like a bad thing that will not be able to do anything. I consider it still a very good thing. It gives us some directions and guidance and etc. When we're looking at GDPR, then the main principles of the GDPR is on a data subject level. So we control the data subject level, mostly the privacy issues. So the subject is basically you, and we control what we do with this type of subject level rules. And this is when the GDPR came in 2018, it took like many, many years before most of the companies will figure out what the hell it is. But now we have AI Act. It's rolling out at the moment, and this is a little bit different. This is different from this perspective that it controls the purpose, not the subject. So you can have the same data, you can have the same system, you can have same technical setup, but you can use it differently. And this is something where we see the AI is actually transforming the way we need to address this technology also from the legal perspective. You can have the same data, you can have the same system, you can have everything the same, but how you use it will define the risk. So basically there's more accountability, transparency, and then the purpose. So, where are we? We have been pushing really, really heavily on a data governance perspective. So data governance, that you govern your data, your structured data, your rules, you know, where it comes from, how you store it, how you delete it. All this is this type of data governance. And this is critically important. It is critically important component to have the input for the AI technology. So we had the privacy data, We had the data lineage of how the data is moving, and etc. And this is something what we have been pushing with the data governance. Many companies are still pushing, and this is not easy to fix also the data governance on the structured data. But what is the question marks what we are going to have now with the new, this type of AI data governance? And what type of challenges we have there will be my next slide. I think of the biggest transformation what will happen, or is happening actually at the moment, is that our capability to analyze multi-structured data. So I have a small hint here also, structured and multi-structured. Basically, multi-structured is everything, and structured is just structured data. So we have a first time, at least what I know, a capability to add up the memos. So we can multiply the memos, we can add up the documents. We can divide and do mathematical calculations with the documents. We didn't have this capability 3 years ago. It's totally new. It's totally changing the landscape. So the question is that in this type of situation, that we have this type of multi-structured data as an analytical asset, how do you govern it? Most of the companies, almost everyone what I have seen, has no policies how to govern the multi-structured data. How you create your memos, how you create your architectural drawings, the files, and etc. Raise a hand if you have a file of version 1. Raise a hand if this file, version 1, has a version of final, and then final. And most of you are just shy, yes? And it doesn't work. I was just doing for one presentation, I asked the AI agents, give me everything what I have been thinking about the AI strategy. It gave me all the wrong things what I thought about a year ago, because I haven't deleted them. And I have it doesn't work. But I have never thought that I need to govern all my information in a totally new way. These are the easy examples. If you imagine your everyday operational life, we are going to have a much more complex situation where we need to govern our information assets in a totally new way, and we have never done it before. And it's coming bloody fast, and that's where we are. The winners, yes, will be defined in the future, but let's see how it goes. So all of these components regarding this type of multi-structured data, the key principles is garbage in, garbage out. It's an old principle. We all know it. Especially at the moment. When I have seen some colleagues who says that the AI is stupid, your input is stupid, very often. It doesn't work in that case. If I have a documents that one document will say that let's turn right, the other one will say let's turn left, nothing will happen. But very often, this is the input what we are giving. So what we are looking in this type of 3 success components. The first success component is basically we have input, we have technology, and we have output. So the input is the data what you're putting in. The garbage in, garbage out applies here. The second part is the technology. You have your AI servers and licenses and all these other things. And the last one, you have to have a problem. If you don't have a problem, you don't need a solution. And the biggest problems are with the first one and the last one. The AI is bloody simple. There is a for all the things there is a video in YouTube. So the AI technology for us, we don't struggle with the technology. We struggle with getting the data in and getting the purpose out. Here is also the problem is the value. Problem is not the bad thing. Problem is the value what we are solving. And most companies have no idea what's the value. And this is also the reason that the companies are investing either too much or too little, because the optimal is really, really hard. And yeah, so if you are building this type of AI strategy or looking also from the legal perspective, then we need to actually cover the data assets, how we manage these. Obviously, we need to manage the technology, but we need to manage also how we are implementing it, what this type of next steps will happen with this technology. I have my last 4 thoughts here. So when we're looking at this type of AI transformation, then the question is that what is different? And I have highlighted 4 components, what I already mentioned also briefly, that what is different when we're looking at the regulations and the new technology. So the first one is that this type of automated complexity meets accountability. That's the place where I meant that even if you have this AI workflow or solution, then the same input, the same technology, but different way of using will create you a problem. And this is the place where we need to have a much more different ways we monitor our AI solutions. Historically, we have had solutions that we know what will be the output of our process. With this one, we don't. It depends on a human input or how they are using it, or it depends, in some cases, also some unknowns. The AI, especially the Gen AI, is kind of the black box. Most of us have no idea how it works. And it requires a new accountability, where we need to have a much more different ways of educating our users to meet the operational principles, what we are after. Unfortunately, very often we even can't define them at the moment, but we are already expecting our people to meet them. So that's this automatic complexity means accountability. The second one I already mentioned was regarding this type of dual regulations. So we have the rules and regulations which are on a subject level, when we're looking at the customer privacy, the ethics, and etc., on the subject level. But then we have a new regulation on the same time when we are looking this type of purpose, operational, this type of principles, and it makes obviously the governance much more broader. In very many cases, I think from the governance perspective, in this type of very complex situation, we need to have more of this type of principles than the rules, because the rules, otherwise we're going to have rules what we need to change and adapt always. I think one of the problems what I see with the regulations in this domain is that even if we create the rules, we can't follow them because the technology is changing so fast. So I would recommend to be careful with setting the rules that you can't follow. Otherwise, you're going to have a chaos anyway. And we have a chaos anyway. So rather, put the rules what you know you can follow, so the rules need to be more easier and simple. But the responsibility is something what grows. From the data-driven to purpose-driven, I kind of already mentioned that. This type of AI system and solution design, we need to refigure it. Is it this type of technical components, our MCP servers, or whatever this type of technical components or workflows we are building? We need to review the design. This is something what in the larger companies, we need to review our IT architecture, actually how it works. The last thing what I think is a little bit like tricky is this type of technical controls and human oversights. EU Act defines that we need to have a human oversight. I think it's wishful thinking. Because how humans work, we want to be in a control, but give away the responsibility. And I think that if we are doing it wrongly, we are also going to lose the control. And this type of human oversights, what we see already in our operational, that we are going to have AI solutions, and then we are going to have AI solutions which will govern these AI solutions. These are called this type of guardian AI. You know, it sounds very good, guardian, yes. And then, most probably in a year, we are going to have so many guardian AIs that we are going to have another guardian AI. And then maybe, eventually, there will be a human who tries to figure out what's going on. And luckily, it's not yet here today, but I think it will happen. So this type of technical control and human oversight is something to consider, that how actually you roll it out, how it works. And it starts obviously with the basic skills and understanding of how this system works. Yes, so, and unfortunately or fortunately, this list continues. There are a lot of other components which we need to figure out, but many of them we are learning by doing, and that's not actually the bad way to do. Also, the AI we have today is the worst AI we are ever going to use. So it will just get more and more, and you can end the sentence yourself. Thank you.
Thank you. Question time. I mean, you have time to generate some questions with AI maybe very quickly. But if not, thank you.
Yes, aitäh!